Hi, I'm Fr Barry Cuba, and apologize for looking a little disheveled. It's hot outside, and I'm still moving boxes around and everything, and 'tis the season, so I appreciate it. But I know that people have been wanting to know a little bit more about me, so we're going to try to do that as soon as possible. So my favorite thing about being a priest, it's going to sound kind of strange. It's going to sound kind of odd, but bear with me for a second. I like to meet people backwards. And what I mean by that is very often the first time that I meet someone is during perhaps last rites calls or hospital visits or at the nursing home, and they talk about very serious things with me. Um, it's not necessarily your favorite sports team or things like that. They'll say, Father, should I talk to my wife about what happened in Vietnam? Or Father, do you think that I'm a good enough man or woman for God to accept me when I'm in heaven and when I die? And I'll say, well, tell me about your life. And then after they recover, sometimes then we talk about the weather or sports or things like that. But being a priest, in many ways, kind of strips away some of the layers that we have in our life, some of the masks that we wear. So, days off would be nice. Yeah, we get one day off as a priest. So I enjoy golfing when I can, when it's not 108 degrees outside. Spending some time with my cats. You all know I've got the cats. Reading. I like to do some writing. I listen to podcasts. I watch a channel, a website called Twitch, and watch different streamers on Twitch play video games. I enjoy going for walks in nature and basically just hanging out with good people. Well, I don't tell the story too often, but I was attacked by an elk when I was about 10 years old. We were on a family vacation in Banff, Canada. My mother, my sister, my grandparents, and I. And I guess there was a baby elk too close to us on the trail. And so I think the mom came out, from what I understand. I don't recall too much of the encounter, but the mother came out, knocked me down. My face hit a rock. So many dental surgeries later, I'm here. And thanks to modern medicine and to some great dentists. But it really took a toll. It affected my confidence in public speaking. I had to kind of relearn how to stand up and assert myself and be able to speak. But what was really a great blessing in this was there was a dentist who was Catholic at one of the parishes that I was working at as a seminarian, and he said, our goal is for you to be able to smile in your ordination photo. And that was so cool, and we did it. So a couple weeks before I was ordained a priest, I had my full set of implants, and I was able to smile, and it was just such a great gift. I love being in this town. It's where I was born and raised. It's changed so much, but I've had so many experiences here. My family and my friends are here. I've met so many people in so many churches. Most of the churches that I've served have been in the Austin area. So I have this circle of friends that surrounds me, you can say, and supports me. I'm excited about meeting new people. So when you work sometimes out in the smaller towns, you meet the people pretty quick, like within 2 weeks. But here there are so many people from so many other places with a wide variety of experiences, and to get to know them and serve with them is just incredible. The book that kind of broke open my heart about Jesus Christ was The Life of Christ by Fulton Sheen. I'm a big fan, you can say, of Fulton Sheen. I think he has this wonderful ability to almost poetically break open the truths of our faith in a way and share it with us in a way that's just enthralling. I couldn't put it down. There's a scene in there about Jesus being born in a manger where animals eat from. And then in most of the nativity scenes, you have the animals around, and the animals kind of symbolize the pagan gods, and they're kind of kneeling around the manger, and it's just scenes like that run throughout the book, and to me really enfleshed the faith, our faith, made it something very, 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 very attractive. And that's when I started Googling like how to be a priest and things like that. I chose St. Paul. St. Paul himself kind of struggled with speaking, that he may have not been the best public speaker. I don't know if he had a speech impediment or what, but I read this somewhere when I was in high school. I was at that time kind of going through my own fear of public speaking, my fear of being out in front of people. But I thought it was so cool that St. Paul was able to use the power of writing to evangelize. And I thought, for so many reasons, I was imperfect. I am imperfect. He was imperfect. I don't know how much more you can turn away from Christ than literally persecuting his people. But somehow God chose him and loved him and allowed him to lead. And at that time in confirmation, I was discerning being a priest. And I was thinking, wow, maybe in my own imperfection, God could call me to go out there. And I may not be the best public speaker or anything like that, but God has the ability to use whatever we have for his glory. So I'm a big fan of Skyrim. I don't know if anyone, the Elder Scrolls games. Those are my favorite games. So in my day, Oblivion was what it was all about. But nowadays there's Skyrim, and I know that there's a new game in development too. So I'm hoping it'll come out soon. My relationship with God, it changes. I think it changes for all of us over life. I remember being a child, and it was just so easy for me to believe in God. I had everything I needed. I wasn't suffering, and so it was just so easy to know that I was cared for. Currently, I hope it's a little bit more mature, but at the same time, I hope I retain some of that kind of childlike understanding of God. And what I strive to do is to be his friend. But sometimes you don't have to, really work hard to be someone's friend, right? And so what I do is try to imagine there's the scene in Genesis. I imagine the scene in Genesis 18 where God is about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And there's this line that a lot of people miss right before, and it says, it's God speaking to himself. And God says, should I tell Abraham what I'm about to do? And I've often prayed and reflected on that. Should I tell Abraham what I'm about to do? The creator of the world cares what his creation thinks about him. And when I thought about that, that kind of, just opened new horizons for me. I always heard God is love, and God is love, and God is love, and he loves us. But that was a scene where I realized he actually liked Abraham quite a bit, spending time with Abraham. And again, Abraham was imperfect, but there was just a great joy among both of them. And I remember thinking about the sacrifice of Abraham and Isaac going up to the mountain with Abraham. And in prayer one day I thought, oh my gosh, they were such good friends that maybe God wanted Abraham to know a little bit about what it would be like to sacrifice a son. Who else would God have to share that experience with? But then he stops Abraham, of course, and says, I'm going to provide the sacrifice. God wants to share his life, his experience with us, that the creator of the world cares about what I may think about him. It just opens up the ability that perhaps we can actually have a friendship together. Well, see, there's two ways to approach this question, right? There's what provides you the most nutrition that can sustain you for a longer period. And then there's what do I like the most? What do I like the most would be like good, authentic Japanese ramen. Not the kind that's in a packet, although that'll do in a pinch, but like the kind that you get at special ramen shops and stuff. I'm not a real big fan of sweet things, but savory is really, really good. Nutrition-wise, I don't know. Bread and a multivitamin? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.